All right, so that's super fun and everything, but I didn't just sing that lead song from the Hamilton musical purely for the sake of singing and rapping, though obviously I do enjoy doing both of those things. But more so for the fact that I really want us to think a little bit differently about the way we conduct business, specifically as it relates to how we communicate what we do. Today, what I'm going to talk you through is a different philosophy, okay? I'm going to share this philosophy, and then I'm going to share the formula behind this philosophy, and I'm going to give you specific examples after that, leveraging that philosophy so that you have something that you can take away immediately. And at the end, I'm going to have a challenge for you. So that's my little cue to be like, listen all the way to the end, yeah. My philosophy is that when we think about pitching and storytelling, we got to step away from the business mindset of things and instead make your pitch a performance. Now, we are all part of this startup culture. It is one that is presented to us as exciting, exhilarating, a thrill ride for the senses. It's the networking happy hours 3 times a week. It's the business deals done over lunch. Beer flowing in the office as far as the eye can see. Ping pong tables, video games, right? It's all of that. It is inviting a customer into your office saying, hey, this is our company. And they're like, okay, cool, you're hired. And guess what? Here's $1 million up front so you never have to worry about cash flow ever again. It's hitting publish on your website and hundreds of leads immediately pouring in without any effort. It's racing into an elevator and the doors close just as you make it in and you turn and you see there's a venture capitalist right there. And you turn to her and you pitch her and then the doors open and she's like, $3 million. Here you go. That's what having a startup is like, right? Right. Yeah. I mean, I think the reality is having a startup is more like this, where you spend hours poring over spreadsheets trying to bring down cost per acquisition. You bang your head against the wall just thinking or just trying to figure out how do you debug the latest app update. And those pitch-like interactions, what really ends up happening are things that are more like you spend days, weeks, even months just trying to figure out a single paragraph on your website. You get customers on your demo calls, and then you feel like you build momentum, and then all of a sudden, people are millennials now, so they ghost you and never talk to you again. And then it's like business became Tinder. And then that elevator pitch scenario, right? Like what really ends up happening when you have the opportunity to pitch, more often than not, from my experience, and what I've witnessed is we stumble, we mumble, we say too much, we blurt out something, or we just freeze entirely. Now, raise your hand if you've ever had someone ask you, hey, what does your company do? And you've thought, maybe you said out loud, oh, I'm not used to being put on the spot. Or perhaps you've thought to yourself, I hate this question. Maybe you have said something, it didn't make a whole bunch of sense, and then they looked at you and they were like, what the fudge do they even do? Is my drink finished yet? Let me get out of here, right? And this shouldn't be happening because I think we all know like a solid pitch can literally make you money, and in many cases a lot of money. And I think the reason why this is happening is because the excitement that was promised to us has just totally been sucked out of the building. Right? We spend our days poring over spreadsheets, so we don't think about what's great and exciting about our company. So I say, to fix this, we need to bring the excitement back. And in order to do that, we need to embrace this philosophy of make your pitch a performance. Now, I want to dive a little bit deeper into this, but I just want to make sure that you're hanging with me still. Everyone still hanging with me? Yeah? So let me do it a different way. So we'll do it like my favorite rappers do it. I'm going to ask if I can kick it with y'all. And if I can, I'm going to say, can I kick it? Then you got to shout back, yes, you can, if that's cool. So let's try this. Can I kick it?
Yes, you
Can
can.
I kick it?
Yes, you can.
Can I kick it?
Yes, you can.
All right, I think we can proceed then. So let's come back to the Hamilton musical, right? This, to me, is one of the best examples of how we can take the success of this and apply it to business, all right? The topic of Alexander Hamilton and the American Revolution has been around for quite literally roughly 250 years. It's not a new topic or concept, but finally people latched onto it, and now people look at Hamilton as this great American hero. We know who's actually on the $10 bill. There's lobbyists to keep him on the bill. And we study our origin and history like never before. If you grew up in this country, you had to learn history as part of your education. But now we have a much different perspective and an interest in it. And it's because for the first time ever, this topic was presented to us as performance. And what good performances do is maximize familiarity. So if you come back to that song that I did, My Shot, I'm going through it, and it's like, I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. Now, anyone here, have you heard that? Raise your hand if you've heard the song before, right? So a lot of you, good. Now, those of you who have heard the song, did you enjoy singing along with that part, right? Those of you who have not heard the song, the second time I got through it, did you kind of have the feeling the words were going to be, not throwing away my shot? Yeah? Good, right? That's the point. Good performances maximize familiarity, and our brain prefers the things that we feel familiar with. So if we take the concept of performance and apply it to our pitching and storytelling, we can totally change the game. So what do I really mean by that? Let's get into the formula aspect behind this. If we take song, right? Most songs are broken down into 4 parts. The beat, the hook, the bridge, and the individual verses. Beat, hook, bridge, verses. Beat, hook, bridge, verses. So we look at each one of these individually. The beat, so you can take the song I did, or think of any song you really like. Just right now, take 3 seconds and think of a song you like. I will almost guarantee the first thing you're doing is humming the tune in your head, right? You need something to nod along to. Your brain goes to the music first, the beat. The beat in a business setting is the problem. So if you think about it in terms of your own pitches that you give, and I'm telling you this is whether it's on stage to an audience, in a boardroom to investors, or in front of customers, if you really think about this, in a world where they don't know you exist yet, what your audience does know is that they have some type of problem. So that's the beat that's going on that they're playing in their head. The next part of the song is a hook, right? So that's the not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. The hook is the thing that you repeat over and over again. So when you think about your favorite song, first you think of the beat, then your mind goes to the words, but specifically the words that get repeated over and over again. So in your specific company's pitch, the hook has got to be your solution. Because if they know they have a problem, the beat, they damn well better know that there's something that can help them solve that, right? Your company name. You want your name to be the thing that gets stuck in their heads that they sing over and over again. They can help us, yes, we love them, right? That's how you want to get your audience, your stakeholders involved. The bridge. So the bridge is that part of songs that creates that sexy lead-in into the hook. The music notes change a little bit, maybe the person is change the way they're singing or rapping, and it creates a beautiful segue into the hook, increasing memorability of the hook. So the bridge is, in a business speak, your approach. So we have beat, hook, and bridge. Now before we move forward, I'm going to do something here, don't freak out. I'm going to just swap the order real quick. From beat, hook, bridge, to beat, bridge, hook. Now the reason I did that is because the bridge segues into the hook, and we know we're trying to make the hook the most memorable thing, so let's create a nice segue to increase that favorability and memorability. Or in business speak, problem, approach, solution. Add a call to action, and you're golden, pony boy. Outsider's reference, if anyone caught that. So, here's the basic layout, the formula behind that performance philosophy. Now I want to show you 3 specific examples of companies that we worked with at Startup Hypeman who embraced this and what ended up happening as a result. So let's start with City Spoon. This is an pretty early stage venture out of Chicago. And they were like, we want to get our name out there. We want to see if we can just get some money behind what we're doing. So they decided to enter a lot of pitch competitions. But they were finding that when they talked about their app, their company, they were being very mechanical about it. So I said, all right, let's take a step back, de-mechanicalize this, and embrace this philosophy of performance pitching. So we had to drop the beat on them. So they would hit the stage and say something like this. It's Friday night, and you and your boo decide you want to go out for dinner. First, you Google what's nearby. Next, you hit Yelp and pour through dozens of reviews. Before you know it, it's been 45 minutes searching and Boo is hangry. All you want to know is it close? Will I like it? And can I get a table now? Then we enter the bridge. City Spoon gets you closer to a decision pronto. The City Spoon app learns your taste buds and matches it with wait times to get good food in your belly and keep you and Boo hanger-free. Very simple way to explain this company. We built an entire audience-based pitch deck around it. And I kid you not, in the last 6 weeks alone, City Spoon has racked up 18 grand in competition winnings. So I'm not messing around when I say this stuff works. Wicked Reports, a little bit more mature company. They had already crossed $1 million in revenue on their own. Have had a couple employees, but most of their revenue at that point came from like early partnerships and people in their network, so they need to start going to more of a cold audience and talk in a better way to their customers. Now, the founder of this company is also the engineer behind the product, so you can imagine how that communication was going. So we had to take a step back on this one, and we had to say, all right, let's drop the beat. So when they had customers on their demo calls, here's how they were talking to them. Hey, we talk to digital marketers every day who tell us they're stuck trying to figure out what's working and what's not in their Facebook, Google, and online ads. It's a whole bunch of data without knowing the ROI. Wicked Reports is the marketing version of video game cheat codes. Our data-driven playbook grows your business faster by tracking everything and auto-recommending what to scale, chill, or kill to get the highest ROI possible. Right? And it's a very simple way to take a marketing attribution software, which can be complex if you don't know that industry well, and simplify it. And they were able to infuse this into their front-end funnel to get higher quality leads on the demo calls, reiterate the message on the demo call, and they improved their close rate to 1 in 3. Now, this is my all-time favorite client and pitch, FANFOOD. FANFOOD was in a situation where they needed to raise capital, but they kept hearing from investors, we've seen similar apps to you, it's another like ordering thing, we get it, that kind of thing. So we had to change the perception of their audience, right? Their audience in this case was the investors. And so when we dropped the beat with FANFOOD, it went something like this. As a diehard sports fan, there's nothing more frustrating than going to your favorite team's game and missing the big play because you were stuck waiting in line for a hot dog and beer. FANFOOD keeps you in the moment. Use our mobile ordering app and get your food and drinks delivered directly to your seat so you never miss the big play again. And what I love about this, when Carson, the founder, has given this pitch, he's had people stop him to tell him the exact game they were at and the play they missed. Someone was like, oh my God, the Odell Beckham catch. That was me. I missed the Odell Beckham catch. I paid $500 for my seat, and I was in a damn line watching it on the concession stand TV. And that's how you know you've made that connection. And earlier this year, FANFOOD raised roughly a $2 million Series A round. So I'm not messing around when I tell you, when you embrace this idea, make your pitch a performance, things just change for the better. Make your pitch a performance, and you lean into that question, what does your company do? You really look forward to it, you get excited by it. Make your pitch a performance, and you make an impact, and you stand out. Make your pitch a performance, and the mumbling and the stumbling and the freezing stops. Now, the last thing I want to cover here is I mentioned there were 4 components to song: beat, bridge, hook, and verses. So what are the verses? So this is most likely the things that you've probably been blurting out too much of to this point if you've had trouble with your pitch and telling your company's story. So consider these like the bonus selling points around your company that don't need to be repeated over and over again, but you can drop here and there to reinforce your hook, right? The verses help fill out your startup song. They are the additional value propositions. So in total, it's beat, bridge, hook, and verses, otherwise known as problem, approach, solution, and your bonus selling points. So I mentioned I have a challenge for you. It's time for that challenge. Are we ready to take on the Game of Thrones of pitching? I use that reference. I've literally never watched the show. No, sorry, I watched one episode of it, and then I said, this is really good, but I cannot afford to get emotionally invested in this because I have to recraft my whole schedule around this show. So my challenge to you is, I think Jim said it at the front, is your task for today is meet one new person, right? Do more than that. Meet a bunch of new people, right? You have an option, right? you could put this into place whenever you want. But I say, why wait till next month, next week, or even tomorrow? I say, put it in place today. Because you're going to have a lot of conversations, like a lot. And inevitably, in those conversations, the other person will ask you, oh, so what does your company do? And you have a choice. You could say, oh, we're this AI app that improves blood sugar or helps you monitor your blood sugar and tracks it on a back end through this platform and et cetera, right? Or you could make your pitch a performance in the moment and embrace your pitch and deliver it in a way that is beat, hook, and beat, bridge, and hook. Today, you have the opportunity to do that. And I'm going to be here all day and into the night, and I want to talk with as many people as possible. So I would like you to come to me and pitch me your company, and I will gladly sit there with a smile on my face as you workshop this live in front of me. And I will gladly offer you some feedback in a very polite way. Have you heard that expression before? You only get one shot to make a first impression? Yeah, so I believe in that. But I say, if you only get one shot, don't just go ham on them. Go Hamilton on them. Don't throw away your shot. Make your pitch a performance. Thank you.